AI agents are killing it. In the previous video, I've talked about multi-agent frameworks. And in this video, I'm going to talk about something called as MetaGPT, which is a multi-agent framework. The website that you see is also generated by MetaGPT. So let's dive in. This is a completely open source framework, so no strings attached. But yeah, let's take a look. So off the top of the bat, a pretty good website. I think you have to appreciate the fact that it's in the background, it's doing a complete 3D animation. Pretty nice rendering of images, positioning of images. Looks pretty cool. And there's no bleeding or anything like that happening. There's use cases, blocks and research, etc., etc. What are the features? It has end-to-end automation with a single input. Great. Multi-AI role collaboration and standardized operating procedures, SOPs, collaboration is pretty good. So there's a bunch of stuff that they have done, or at least they are showcasing, that has been built using their framework. So somebody has built a couple of games, landing page which has been built for a website called Tonic AI. It seems to be very, very basic. I wouldn't make a big deal about it. And then some Flappy Bird game. That's probably interesting. Game designs are interesting. And then a bunch of simple looking app. I don't see anything really, really complex here, but they have talked about a bunch of capabilities like code interpretation and stuff like that. So in the use cases section, they have a bunch of single agent and multi-agent scenarios. So you can have code interpreter, you can have an ML engineer, you can have a researcher, a tutorial assistant, a photographer. I don't know how it's gonna do a photographer's job. I don't think the images generated by prompts are great these days, but what the heck. Then multi-agent scenarios like a software company where multiple different roles collaborate, and that's pretty interesting. I think while it not be in that shape of consumption right now, it's really interesting to see the thought progress. Debate, Werewolf, it's a very interesting agent playing strategy games, Minecraft games, and virtual towns. Pretty good. So let's hop over to GitHub and see what it is about. So website, as it says, it's multi-agent framework, first AI software company towards NLP, blah blah blah. MIT license, amazing. Very, very active development, 90 contributors. They have had 20 releases and are in version 0.8.1, which kind of points to the fact that it's still young. So don't expect too much from it. Completely written in Python and a bunch of capabilities. But this is what caught my eye really. This diagram is really, really good. So you need a software company. You need to have some sort of an investment, an idea, an environment. So there's different roles, and these roles are also working as agents. So think of them as roles, agents, interchangeable words. So there's a boss, CEO, CTO, whatever. There's a product manager who writes PRD, revises PRDs. There's an architect who kind of does a bunch of design and PRD conversations. There's a project manager who's writing tasks, assigning the PRD, designing reviews and review code. I don't think project managers do that, but sure. And then there's engineer and QA. So a pretty good and simplistic representation of a small software company. And in order to just get it started, you all you need to do is just do a pip install, do couple of configurations, like if you want to run it Olama, local LLM, or you want to run it off some sort of an OpenAI, you can configure and do that. And then you can do a quick start and you'll be pretty much able to just get it up and rolling. I will play the official video here. So what they are doing is they're just generating a simple game by a single prompt. And basically what it has done is, if you see the progression, right? So the user has requested to write a CLI to develop the following steps would be required, deck of card, etc., etc. And then it goes and captures the requirements as a requirement, goes into checking couple of ambiguity, data sufficiency questions, things like that. Then just keeps on moving forward and writes the code and generates a bunch of documents, diagrams, and images, and can play the game as well. So quite an interesting play, but I am personally not ultra convinced yet. I think it requires significant amount of more work, but the acceleration in this space is really, really fast, which is why I'm so bullish on this technology. So if you are into AI agents, do check MetaGPT. If you are new and if your use cases are creative, I think you will be surprised as to what are the things you can achieve with this. All right. Thank you for listening. That's Akash. Bye bye.